And we're back on for another week of 2 days at night. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name is Jordan, and hello, Jeremy. How are we doing today? Good week. Likewise, yeah, it's pretty successful. I think but the fans don't know, but got the plastic on the tunnel. That was that was the day after the podcast last week. hmm Right. You got it. That is the Tootsie Rollin', yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. At the very end. Hmm. Yeah. 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 It just rolls up, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of up to debate at this point right now for me, honestly. I guess so we can, it's actually not a bad sort of topic we can talk about. Because I'm sort of torn right now. I have these a decision to make where we have some decent wins in the area that I have, put up the tunnel. So the kind of consistent wind that this sees actually has started to make me think that maybe leaving it sort of tootsied like that might be better so that the wind can kind of go up and over top. But yeah, yeah, exactly, right? It's gonna have the shape of like a airfoil or something. um, but otherwise, I had wanted to put in kind of like a flat um, end wall. Um, yeah, and the way I was just gonna do it was sort of like a cheap version. A cheap way to do it is just called a scissor doors, and you essentially just take some of the extra plastic and cut it so that it would drape down across, and then you slice it down the middle, and you have two pieces of um, essentially the same kind of steel. It's like top rail of chain link fence. So you take like two top rails, and they have like a special little brace bracket thing that like gets bolted to them on one end, and then that bracket goes around a part up at the top of the peak, and it allows it to sort of swivel then. So that bracket up at the top isn't like fixed. It's just kind of a pivot point, and then that way you can swing the arm out to the side, and so the scissor door effect. You open them up and then tie them off to the side. Can Can we just check something here real quick, Eric or Jeremy? Hey, Becca, are you on? Can you? Can you? I just want to make sure the audio is going right here. So I got my levels aren't showing. Sorry, Jeremy. I just want to make sure this is going through correctly here. But I mean, on the podcast, on the YouTube. Does yours come through though? Okay, nice. And you can hear yourself too? Or is it just me? Because I think it might be just me right now. Okay, try it. Start now. Here, let's try this now. We might have to do a... live feed. It should still be going, but now I think your audio should be back up. Why is this not? Okay, here we go. Have we got it now? Let's see. Pull in from that. Try talking now, Jeremy.
Check.
Now. There we go. Now I got levels. That should be good now, I think. Sorry, everybody. Boy, I'm not sure how that got changed out. Something last week when we had some of that audio issue stuff.
Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
there
good
we
now.
Go.
Boy, there's what, a 10 to 15 second lag on that. That's funny. That's funny. All right. So, well, that was 9 to 10 minutes of suck, huh?
One-sided conversation. Everybody heard what I was saying.
Well, and I guess
at least I was the one kind of starting the conversation.
I was gonna say you were kind of the one leading the talk, anyways. So we'll just I'll just put in the notes. Hey, you know, first 10 minutes was amateur hour. us amateuring it up like we are wont to do.
Yeah, and just, I mean, everyone's got to understand too. This is like I was literally milking goats about an hour ago. So
yeah,
but,
yeah.
Hey, if
I hear you.
Bo and Benjamin can do it, why can't we, right?
Damn right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was outside up until about an hour ago myself. So
nice.
Yeah, my body's aching, but you know, it's all right. Except for the back. The back is rocking pretty good, which is a little sketch, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's part and parcel, I guess. But
yeah, so what have you been getting into? I know it's been time to get the grapevine ready and trellis prepared for that. Did you get the trellis?
I did not get the trellis made. I did just today procure the materials for the trellis. I was at my local Lowe's today, where I marched through the store unmasked, and even inspired a guy that I saw early on when I walked in. He was wearing like kind of a chin mask, and then I saw him later, and I noticed, because I was standing there looking for something, and out of the corner of my eye, I see like this movement from him, because I noticed he stopped, and sure enough, he was taking his mask off and stuffing it in his pocket. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. It's
Right
movement.
on.
It's a movement. But so anyway, yeah. So I was at Lowe's and I got 4 8-foot 4x4s and 50 feet of stainless steel. It was, what did I end up getting? 9 gauge, I think. It was a little bit bigger than I wanted, but they didn't have what I wanted. So, and I didn't want to go too small because I mean, I don't know. I guess the odds of it kind of collapsing under the weight of the vine. Well, I don't know. Those vines get pretty heavy. So,
And if you're lucky enough to get the fruit, right? The grapes
yeah.
growing.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I got those, and initially I was going to fasten the wires with what are called wire vices. Are you familiar with these things?
I think, is it just like well, there's two that I'm thinking of, like almost like a U-bolt type of thing, or just like a crimper. Is that just like a little piece of metal that you crimp?
No, so this is I guess these would be, you drill a hole in the wood and you
Huh?
stuff the vise in, and
Oh.
then the way it works is the wire can only pass through the vise in one direction. So it's almost like a Chinese
Ah.
finger trap, I guess, if you will. Once you
Yeah.
start feeding it in, it can't go back out the other way. It
Okay.
kind of
Cool.
locks.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find them, at least at Lowe's, and I didn't feel like running around a whole lot. So I read on the internets, and somebody made the obvious answer of, just use some nails. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just use some big old honking nails, and I'll just wrap the wire around the nails. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, the wire's thick stuff, it's pretty heavy gauge. So
Mine is
getting
pretty
it around
heavy.
getting it around the nail will be interesting. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to fashion it enough that it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
If anything, it'll just pull tighter from the weight being put on it.
Mm.
So yeah, so I don't know if that'll happen this weekend, but definitely next week, putting that up. And yeah, I'll have photos. I do have photos to show if we want to try to do screen share, or if we've already mucked it up enough this evening and you don't want to give that a whirl. I'm fine with that too. We could just move on and keep chatting.
Do we do screen share? Can you screen share?
But
Yeah, go for it.
I think I can if I do share screen, and I'll
I just want to make a quick side note too that we should. I like that your little story there made me think of well, the idea that you have this sort of little piece of cool. I mean, it's not that sophisticated a technology, I guess. The little vice, uh, tapped vice grip thing or whatever.
the wire vice.
Yeah, the wire vice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is funny sometimes where we have these more complicated solutions than maybe it needs to be. It's like a simple nail is like all
Sure.
you really need, but we always find, we tend to like overcomplicate things.
Yeah, yeah, because we're smart. It's science, right? Probably
Yeah.
science came up with that wire vice. Yeah, because why can't you just use a nail? I mean, when I read that, I was like, of course.
Right?
Come on, you just drill a hole and put it through the hole and fasten it to the nail on the other side. You're done with
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
You're good to go, man. So this is the old rig. You can see this?
I can see it fine, yeah. I
Hopefully,
think the
yeah, you can
audience
see it on
can.
the stream. I see it on the stream. This is the old get up here. That's the vine in the middle there, and those are two like metal trellis type things that I just kind of had leaning together, It's hideous. It's amateur hour, but you know, this is how I roll sometimes. So anyway, I took those out. You can see I've dated it. This was 5/4, so this was 10 days ago. This is
Okay.
the vine already starting now. It's been kind of cold since then, and that's definitely taken its toll on plants in general around here.
Yeah.
They're generally doing okay, but this was the same day as the other one. I just kind of took this one so that you could see like how tall the root is compared to my stubby leg there.
That's so
And then
interesting, huh?
this here, it's not dated, but this was just yesterday.
Okay.
So, and it looks, I don't know, I'm not too thrilled about how it looks right now, honestly. But I'm hoping maybe if I give it something to start growing onto, that'll kind of inspire it. And yeah, I don't know. We'll
That's
see how
true.
it goes. We'll see
And
how
like
it
you said,
goes.
you did have sort of some cooler weather. So hopefully once that is gone and you have the warmth again, it'll really be able to take off again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So then let me close that one and see if, okay. So that's going to close the share altogether. Let me relaunch. And this is, I picked up a new blueberry bush and a blackberry bush. So the blackberry bush is the one directly in the back there. It's already in the ground. The blueberry bush is the one closest here, which I'm putting in. The grapes are over there off by that black container over there that the blackberry bushes were in. So that's the berry
Yeah,
patch
that's
a
a
few
nice
days
sized
ago.
blueberry bush there.
Yeah.
That's
That
nice.
one's
It comes.
supposed to produce twice in a season too. Yeah, and I think it's doing, that thing looks like it's doing pretty well so far. And the
It does look
blackberries look like
healthy.
they're doing all right as well.
Good.
So those went in. I'm not sure when this was. There's the date, the 8th. So not quite a week ago. A week ago tomorrow. That's when this was. So the day you were putting up the greenhouse,
The plastic there.
this is
Yeah.
what I was doing. Um, and that's so that's the whole berry patch right there. And on the left there behind that compost bucket is my strawberries, which I think I managed to almost completely destroy last year somehow. I think it was mulch. Don't mulch your strawberries. They don't like it. So there's still some, which means they'll come back, but it might
Yeah.
be a little, and that's pretty disappointing. But lesson learned, and now you know. So tell a friend. This is the garden. This was me. So I had the cover on it per your recommendation, which was a great recommendation because there were pretty much no weeds under this thing.
Yeah.
Anything that was in there was very shallow. Really easy to pull out. And so this was me working the garden, tilling it up. It was all very loose too, because I'd put a bunch of dirt and compost in to the garden last fall. And
look at the color of that soil.
oh
Oof.
man, I'm telling you, it tilled so nice, so great. That's the end product right there. That's after I was done. And then this was yesterday. I went ahead and put the thing in. And you can see there in the back left corner the old grape trellis things. I'm going to use those for my green beans to grow on.
Those are a good bit taller than I was realizing, actually. Huh.
Yeah, they're pretty tall. They're a good 5.5, 6 feet tall. They're pretty tall.
Yeah. Are they pretty flexible? Because once those beans start developing, they might start to. Well, they'll probably be fine.
I think they might fall because I have them leaning pretty close to the bottom of that top piece of wood. I think there's a chance that it might pull them down and they might fall into
Yeah.
the fencing.
Yeah.
But the fencing's
Nail.
pretty
Put a nail.
sturdy. So, ooh, that's not a bad idea. You know what? I might do that, or screw. I'll throw a screw in there so I can pull it out at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
And then is that bamboo
Yeah, those are
sticks?
bamboo, and I just threw those in so I know where different stuff is.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and I drew myself up a sheet too, which I should have taken a picture of the sheet to put up here. But anyway, yeah, so I know where everything is exactly.
Yeah.
And then I took some pictures. These are the onions that I planted.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've never grown onions before of any variety, but it seemed simple enough. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. They're so small you can hardly see them. They are sweet peppers. There we go. You can see a couple of them there. Real little guys. But they germinated for us and they look okay so far. Even today they look all right. So good stuff there. Whoa, easy. Slow down. There are the green beans. The one on the right, not so good and even worse today. Don't know that it's going to make it. The one on the left was really good yesterday, really good this morning, this evening, not so great. I don't know what's going on. If they're going to kick over on me, then it's early enough. I'm not going to fret about it too much. I'll just throw some other seeds in and see what happens. But a little disappointing just because, this is like the second time I'm trying to start stuff indoors and move it outdoors, and I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it at all.
It's challenging,
I
man.
don't have a good success rate. So these are snap peas, which they don't look good here, and they look worse today. They are not going to make it.
No?
They are definitely not going to. No, there's no way.
No.
They are definitely not going to make it. It's disappointing for sure.
We need to talk after this podcast, man.
Like I said, I'm learning, man, and things happen. But anyway,
yeah, no doubt. Those look good.
Those are just peas, regular peas. And yeah, they look good today too. They're doing all right. And there's so that's really the only stuff that I started that made it. There was some stuff that we started that I don't think we really needed to start, like lettuce and spinach, and even broccoli. So I threw some of that stuff just in the ground here. It's in the garden there.
That's a good move. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. A little disappointing on the starting stuff in Trey's or arena, but is what it is, and keep working at it.
Making them out is so difficult. Getting them out into the garden.
They came out real easy, especially with the toilet paper rolls, because I was able to just like pinch the toilet paper roll and pick up the whole thing, and then I could just kind of dump it out in my hand. And then like the peppers, we had gotten 3 peppers started in one little toilet paper roll, and I was able to very distinctly, like separate them out, and so I thought that worked really well. I wouldn't recommend cutting them in half. Like next year, I'll start saving earlier so that I have more, because you're right, the roots do grow out the bottom. And I think that probably impacted some of our growing, because some of the beans. There was a cucumber somewhere. I guess I didn't take a picture of it. But there was a cucumber that made it. But one of those green beans, or actually both of them, were like taking over the tray,
The bottom of the tray.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that they were just fighting and stealing nutrients from some of the other plants and just not even really giving them a chance to get moving.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's some of it. So next year I'll use the full roll. That should give the roots a little bit more room to kind of grow. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, if you have tips, we can definitely chat and get it going a little better for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, it sounds like a good run, dude. And I like the setup there. The layout looks like you've got it laid out so you can access the rows nicely. I like the bamboo sticks too. Where'd you get those?
They were here when I moved in. I have no idea what they must have used them for because there are literally probably a couple hundred. There's probably 50 or so of those bamboo, and then there's probably 50 or so of these green. They're weird. They're like they're like a hard plastic. I don't know. They're weird. But they're like the same thing. They're kind of like long like the bamboo, and you can just stake things off. I've used them to grow my green beans on before. I just plant them, stick them in right next to the green bean, and it grows up the pole, and then I would tie a string from the top of the pole and just loop it up to the top of the garden fence, and the vine would just grow right up there. So yeah, that's why I think that the trellises should work out pretty well. I don't know. Although
they'll probably fill in those. What's that?
Do you think they'll get too hot because they're metal?
Oh, they're painted, aren't they? They're kind of like are they nylon painted. Coated? Sort of nylon coated, or are they?
I mean, if the grapes could survive on it, surely other plants can survive on it, right?
Yeah, I would think they're probably fine.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
But they'll probably fill in that whole trellis like pretty thick.
Yeah, the green beans go nuts, man. When they start growing, they will really go. Yeah, I'm hoping to get them covered up. We'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, in addition to that, I did some composting around the apple trees. I don't think I'm going to get any fruit off the trees this year. It's due to those GD deer. But I've got a way to keep them off now.
Yeah.
So, and they're looking good. The trees look great. They're just, and I don't know when they should bloom exactly either, though. The one tree had 2 blooms on it already.
Okay.
So I don't.
That's good.
I need to talk to Mom and Dad and find out exactly when theirs bloom and everything, and so that should kind of tell me what to expect with mine.
I would think about. I mean, the apple and pear trees at our farm are blooming right now.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think I'm gonna end up getting fruit this year from them, and that's disappointing because if the deer hadn't got them, I definitely would be getting fruit from them.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and again, I will persevere, and I am gonna have to. I think I am gonna have to prune the top of the one of them. Mom and Dad said try to keep them like about your height.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna have to just give a little snip on the top of the one. But did that. I sowed some grass. That wasn't this week. This was last week actually. Which is coming up in some areas. They had a bunch of islands outside around here, like for mulching and stuff around trees, and I don't care for all the labor of mulch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it looks great. But it's so much work, and I'd like to keep it to a minimum. So I'm slowly but surely trying to eliminate some of these islands, and I did eliminate one last summer, and I never got around to actually seeding grass where it used to be because I pulled out the ground cover and everything. So I sowed some grass there, and it's coming up pretty good. So there's something I'm growing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
uh,
yeah, grass.
yeah. Trim the bushes up today. The hedges, ran the hedge trimmer. Battery powered tools, man. I have another dead battery. This is like the second one in like 3.5 years.
You mean
And
like that won't recharge?
yeah, yeah, the battery's done. It's
What's the
done.
brand? Well, should we say the brand? I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know. It's yeah, it's not one that I would I don't know. I don't think it matters. It's a Ryobi. Uh and it's
Okay.
I I, I do not recommend. Uh I just don't know about the battery powered stuff.
Mm,
Um and the batteries are so expensive. So expensive.
yeah.
Um
But you're
and
not buying gas every, 3 weeks or whatever.
yeah, but the amount of gas that it takes me to run that thing, I don't know.
I get
I don't
it is
know.
the trade off if the battery were to
I don't
last
know.
longer, and you didn't have to constantly
Yeah,
rebuy them. But for me,
yeah.
what I
That's a
like
valid
about
point.
them is the lightweight aspect. I love how
See,
much
I think they're
lighter
heavy too.
they are.
I
Well, at
find
least
them
the
heavy.
ones I've been using were super light. I don't know. The mower I have is just like so light. You can pick it up. It's so easy.
Yeah. Well, a mower I could see. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, but I don't know when you're picking up mowers too often, other than to maybe put them in your vehicle to transport them.
No,
Um,
yeah, get it in the shed. I don't have a ramp.
uh, I mean, the hedge trimmer and stuff like that, I find it weighs about the same. Maybe the uh, weed trimmer is lighter.
I would
Yeah, the
think
weed trimmer
so.
is definitely lighter.
And the distribution of
So
weight is just a little different too. You don't
it
have like
is.
this huge weight like a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a good experience with the battery powered stuff. I just don't.
Yeah.
So I toil with the gas. But I don't toil, that's the thing. I do
That
very
is
effing well with the gas.
exactly. That is what I've always noticed is with us here, we have pretty thick grass, and
uh,
that electric mower gets bogged down. It'll like
uh,
it'll sometimes you almost have to like make like multiple cuts because if you try to cut it too low too quickly, um, yeah, it'll actually shut off. Sometimes it'll just like shut off.
right.
It's bogged out. But the other thing is that like even with our yard, which is not that big, um, we have to recharge the battery probably once or twice, just to finish it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, you do a quarter of the yard and then you're waiting for 2 hours for that thing to recharge or whatever it takes.
Yeah. See, I can't deal
So,
with that. And
yeah.
like today, I did the bushes and hedges and stuff today. And I ran out and I bought because I told you I have the trimmer that you can change the parts out on, which I highly recommend one of
And I
those.
saw you used the tiller with
The
it, right?
tiller, yeah, that was the trimmer right there, and I used the
So,
tiller in the garden. And today I took that tiller piece off, and I went out and I bought a hedge trimmer piece, and I used the hedge trimmer. And I'll tell you what, man, this hedge trimmer. So the head is adjustable, and you can tilt it. So like I have pretty tall bushes in places, and
ah,
before it was like a royal pain in it. Like I would have to get on a ladder sometimes for some of them,
right.
which is not good, right? And mulch and stuff. I mean, it was some hairy situations with
I can
a hedge
imagine,
trimmer.
yeah.
So, and now it's like I have it on this trimmer piece, and I'm just like, and I just angle the head so that I can like reach up, and I'm like, I'm like, this
Wow.
is incredible. And it's funny you mentioned the battery aspect of it too, because with the battery around here, I would have to be on my horse, and
Mm,
really hustling if I wanted to even come close to getting it all done with
right.
one battery. And I thought of that today when I was out there because I ended up doing a lot more than I kind of was planning on. And as I'm doing it, I thought to myself, I was like, this is about the time when the battery would die on me. And I don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah.
So
You
I
can
don't know.
you can carpe diem. You can still go out and get a little more done.
For me, it's a win-win. Just get you a full tank of freedom and go to town.
Top off the gas can.
Top off the gas can. You like that?
Dude, I was dying.
Messing with our poor relatives down in the south that having gas supply issues this week. Yeah. That was funny stuff. That was funny stuff.
Good.
But
there's a bunch of good memes there. I liked the red button one too. The guy, he's like, which one do I choose? Take off the mask or leave it on?
Yeah.
Great.
I thought that was pretty funny too. Somebody was like, only 4 months in and he's already got gas lines. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drink to that.
Yeah. So that's got to be a new record.
So what do you make? Have you followed that story at all? Like, what do you make of that?
Dude.
$5 million.
Ugh.
$5 million in today's world. $5 million. $5 million.
Who is like, oh, we'll try to be more morally conscious in the future about who we hack. We didn't really mean to mess up all of society.
Did they say that?
They apologized. The hackers apologized and said, in the future we'll be try to be more conscious about who we hack and stuff like that. Dude,
interesting. I missed that part. I missed that piece.
I have many thoughts, and none of them are 100% what I actually think.
Yeah,
there are just a lot of theories. Sure. And I'll just toss out one theory is I don't know, it could very well just be a controlled crash, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
And I think they're just sort of testing the waters, getting us ready to feel. I was just telling my wife that it's a little scary, but I wouldn't doubt if we had some large grid issues over the next 4 years, sometime over the next 4 years, or even over the next year, even in this year sometime.
Yeah.
If it was a whole, 5 states worth of the grid down for a half a week or something like that. Yeah. Not because of a natural disaster, but because of a hack or because of who knows.
Because it's overloaded in the middle of the summer.
Right. Yeah.
I could totally see something like that happening, because what it does is it plants the seed in people's heads, and they start to think, oh, we have to move off of this stuff to greener energy sources. And I've seen some really interesting stuff about wind turbines lately.
Mm-hmm.
That they use for the wind farms. And
oh yeah, well, I know all about wind turbines.
I know you do. And the astronomical cost that goes into these things, and then they typically break down within 10 years, and they don't produce what it costs to make them at all. And then they take the blades, and they bury them. They bury them. And they don't. Those things last. You want to? People get upset about plastic, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of people tossing plastic into the environment. But I do think that plastic does degrade eventually. Mm-hmm. I mean, it might take a very long time, but I do think it breaks down and will go away. Uh, those turbines, I don't know. People in 2,000 years might be digging those things up like, what was that civilization doing with these phallic things? Like, like,
They had
and then
giant.
and then
Yeah.
the conspiracy theories start flying, because the histories are never accurate. And
Yeah, I tell you what, composite material is you want to talk about stuff that lasts a lifetime forever. Yeah.
it's designed for that,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
there's
And with
there's
the plastics, they do make biodegradable plastics nowadays. So, and
yeah.
honestly, the other thing is plastics, you can synthesize diesel fuel from plastics. So, plastics really actually not that bad of a I mean, that's obviously contaminates the environment. You don't want necessarily it to be in your water sources and things like that, but in general, it's like a pretty useful thing actually. But yeah,
Yeah.
those piles of the turbines, yeah, dude,
Yeah, yeah, it's horrifying. I
crazy.
didn't know about that until very recently, within the last few
Hmm.
months, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
that's disgusting. That's disturbing. And then
yeah.
I was driving home not long after that, and then I got even more angry about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Because
But
they
those
have
have been there for a
talked.
while.
They've been there for a while, but how many times have they been replaced? How many
That's a good
times have they been
question.
rebuilt?
How many
Um,
blades have been
And I mean, I
replaced?
know
Yeah.
I've seen those things. You see them down all the time. There's only like half of
Yeah.
them running on any given day, three quarters on a good day.
Yeah.
There's always, and I understand that they do that. Like they shut them down for a day or two, whatever, for maintenance.
Yeah.
Um, but still, I don't know. I don't know. Those things are a
Well, the other
hawk
thing I
on the
would
landscape.
the other thing I'd say is that I think it's also pushing us towards the elite want to have all the resources, and as the things become turbulent and strained, and populations become unsettled, they know that resources will also become strained. And so they are trying to, I think, get us used to scarcity, getting us used to, oh, you don't have internet for a couple days now, and you don't have gas, you can't have gas, you don't have power, I don't know. We'll see. It it just seemed very odd. And of course it could be just a natural thing, people
Like,
uh
yeah, totally could be.
and
Totally could be. It,
I mean, if you could hack and just hold people ransom like that, I'm sure there's lots of people that would do that in a heartbeat if they could. So, you
yeah.
know.
I, it could be a totally legit story. Absolutely, it could.
Mhm.
Um, it just seems a little
Oh, did you
weird.
hear where the hackers are from?
Oh, of course, Russia or damn almost Russia, right?
uh,
I mean,
right?
that's pretty much what they said. Yeah, Russia or
Yeah,
Eastern Europe.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, Russia or right on the border of Russia. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
it's so easy. If I was a hacker, oh, dude, you probably only have to have a VPN connection to Russia, and any intelligence
Yeah.
agency is like, it's Russia,
Yeah.
it's Russia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, for
They
sure.
don't even go past like the first jump in IP addresses or whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I'm sure. As soon as they see Russia, they just start freaking out. It's a golden ticket, I'm sure, in the
Mhm.
that world. Um, but so since we're kind of talking current events anyway, which is I kind of figured that's what we would do tonight because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on,
Mm.
and with the CDC saying now that vaccinated people are allowed to do this, that, and the other without masks on, and
Yeah, what
but
is up with all that? I don't know
how are they going
anything
to be
about
able to
this.
enforce that? Oh my goodness, yeah. So that they came out and said that, and then President Joseph Biden tweeted, you know, everybody didn't like the Donald's divisive tweets. um, Meanwhile, President Joe Biden tweets, the rule is simple. Literally, I'm quoting him. The rule is simple. You have a choice. Either get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do.
That's what he said?
That's what he said. That's a tweet from the
No
President of the United
way.
States of America. I swear to you. I swear to you. Uh, yeah.
Yes,
So,
that's great. Thank
so
you. Thank you for laying it out. I'm so glad they're just finally saying it, right?
right?
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
all the back and
Yeah.
forth and the hidden
The hemming and the
messaging.
hawing. Yeah. So, but anyway, so people, of course, immediately, what's the first question that comes up?
What if you already had it? The disease.
How you're not wearing a mask when you're walking down the streets of San Francisco? How do I know
Oh, right, that too. Yeah.
that you were really vaccinated?
Well, can I see your papers?
Exactly. And I've seen, my wife said that she saw somebody saying, or she heard somebody talking. It was on a call at work. They were chatting about this stuff, and one of her coworkers was like, "Yeah, I'd want to see a vaccination card." And one of the other
Yeah.
people on the call was like, "You can't ask for somebody's personal health information like that. You just can't do that. Like that's private information. Only a doctor is allowed to ask for that. You can't do that."
Yeah.
So how do you know? And it's interesting, man, because the plot thickens. Apparently just today the Pittsburgh Pirates announced that if you are coming to their baseball games, which I don't know why in the name of all that's holy
Who's
you
going?
would, you sadistic bastard, snap out of it. The Penguins play on Sunday, round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Check that out. But anyway, if you're attending a Pittsburgh Pirates ball game, you can, and you're vaccinated, you can not wear a mask at the ballpark. And of course,
Nobody
instantly people are like, how do we know if people are really vaccinated? Well, it's the honor system. It's the honor system. And I'm like, well, that's pretty much what voting was this year anyway, so why not? I mean,
yeah,
honor
how
system
about
seems to be
that?
working great in America now. So
yeah. I have to show vaccine ID cards to get into places, but I don't have to show anything for voter ID.
Right. But so anyway, the plot continues to thicken because the thing is, there's already states that have said no masks at all. It doesn't matter. Like, which again is, even when Trump was running the show, the states were really doing their thing. And I mean, granted, there are a lot taking from a playbook, right? Whether it's from their party platform or the World Economic Forum or Davos or whatever, Soros, Koch, pick your team. They're using a playbook, but they're all doing their own thing for the most part, which is interesting to me. And that continues even now that Biden's president, right? Because there are states that are like, you know what, none of this matters anyway, screw it. And now all of a sudden the CDC is like, oh, you know what, some of this stuff, it's all right, And I just saw, it was just announced right before we started that tomorrow in the state of Maryland, they have declared no masks required anywhere. They don't care if you're vaccinated or not. The masks are gone. We're done with masks. So,
hey, we're at war with East Eurasia? We're at war with.
Yeah,
we were never at war with East Eurasia.
We have a new, better war, I guess. Which, thank God for our evil enemies, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Keeps the eye of Sauron off the turning on itself, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
What is
It's
going on?
weird.
Distractions? Is it just all to like keep us thinking about this as they're extracting our wealth somehow or something?
Yeah,
What's going on?
because the other thing too is like especially with the CDC recommendations, you know, they're saying, oh well, we still need to wear masks in these settings, right? Whether you're vaccinated or
Oh.
not. So it's kind of
Really?
like, yeah. That's another thing too, is that you got to watch some of these. Like I haven't looked too much into the Maryland thing, but it sounds like the Maryland thing. But then again, I don't know. You got to read the stories, because the stories will tell you, oh yeah, they're loosening up, but there's a but involved in pretty much all of this, which to me says, come this fall, come this winter, but I don't know. I mean, you know, who
Well,
knows?
the next pandemic,
Hope for
man.
the best,
It's the
prepare for the
next
worst.
one. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
This was all preparation for the next one.
Yeah, and now they see, like, I saw Uncle Hotep tweeted the other day. He was like, yesterday, he was like, man, they're gonna have a hard time reprogramming the normies.
Oof.
And I just replied, and I was like, you know what, dude? With what I've seen in the last year, I have faith.
I think so.
I have faith. Dude, the normies will believe anything. If they turned around right now and said that, oh, we missequenced something in the whatever genetic sequencing for the virus, and you know what, it really wasn't this virus causing stuff all along anyway, and you know, the fact that it was being picked up by these tests was just because we were running the tests a little bit hot, which, you know, we've told you, and that was our bad too. You know, we've just made some mistakes, and you know, we're sorry. The vaccines are good. They're totally safe and fine. You know, that's fine. You guys, no harm, no foul. Dude, people would totally eat that up. They would buy it in a
100%.
freaking second, dude. In a freaking
and
second.
they'd toss like one person to the wolves or something.
One exactly.
Scapegoat, you know?
Fauci, that Tony Fauci guy, he's been around for a long time. He gave the gays AZT. Like, that guy is a bad apple. He was funding Wuhan, which you're seeing those stories starting to come out. And he is a bad seed, that Tony Fauci. He's a bad man, and we got him. We got him good. And yeah,
he's fired. That's it. He's just fired. That's all.
These people are so malleable. With what I've seen in the last year, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm reminded of the Anchorman when Ron Burgundy goes home, and he's like, what's his dog's name? And he's like, you ate the entire wheel of cheese? And he's like, I'm not even upset. I'm actually impressed. Like, that's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm like, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm actually kind of impressed. Like, if I was an evil bastard, I would admire y'all. It's really impressive what you guys have accomplished here.
Yeah. So, well, and I feel like as I think Michael Malice has said that some bad people are getting a lot of information, a lot of data. I think a lot of people found out just how programmable people are, because they literally got people to
toss out
like
hundreds of years of
contradicting, exactly, and believe like contradicting like narratives even.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, totally. And they still are. People are still eating up contradicting narratives. You know, everywhere you walk, it's a contradicting narrative. All the signs,
even those CDC guidelines are.
I was just going to say, all the signs that are up right now say 6 feet, 6 feet. I'll bet if you go to the CDC website right now, it says 3 feet, because they updated that like a month and a half ago. Quietly.
But apparently, like, in certain settings, if you're vaccinated, you don't need it, huh?
Yeah, I guess. You know, just
but in other settings,
just get the shot.
Come on.
Did you see that in Ohio they are doing $1 million weekly lottery?
That's the most incredible. And how about this? Everyone needs to know this, by the way. that they stated that though they will be using federal uh, virus funds. I don't want to say the word
Yeah.
virus funds for the funding of that
Yeah.
federal funds. So these
Yeah.
are your taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. Well, people are okay with that because they think that it's for the greater good, and people need to be persuaded to do this for their own good.
Goodness.
It's I don't know. It's really bizarre because the thing to me is when I see stuff like that happening, like a lottery giveaway for this, and then did you see the De Blasio thing that I sent the other
No.
day? So De Blasio is at a podium, and I swear to you, this is not like an SNL skit or anything. This is real stuff. He is at a podium, and he's got fries on the one side of him and a sandwich on the other side. And he is eating fries, and he says, when you get vaccinated, you get some fries. You get free fries. I got vaccinated. You get free fries. He's like, and there's a sandwich element to this. And he grabs a sandwich and he's like, look at this. Mmm. It's like, so when you get vaccinated, you can think about this because you get this. And
This is a big research project, man.
it,
It's
well,
an experiment.
like that right there. I told Lena, I said this has a QVC feel to it. It's
Mm.
like, act now and we'll throw in these fries and a burger while supplies last, like it's
Corporate
really
America.
weird. It seems like people trying to hit numbers. If anybody knows anybody that's worked in sales or they've ever worked in sales, they know that salespeople sometimes get incentives to toss around to people so that they will sell the product and make more money. And
Mm.
that's what this stuff seems like. Because honestly, what does the government do for people like that they push so hard for the good of the country? There's a lot that the government could do. When we talk about addiction and mental health and things of that nature in this country, there's a lot of initiatives the government could take that would really save a lot of lives,
Yeah.
legitimately save a lot of lives, and help a lot of people. And they don't care. They don't take care of that type of stuff. When does the
Yeah.
government ever do anything that doesn't involve something for the government, whether it be
It's all
power
about. Yeah.
or money for cronies,
Mhm. Or the next campaign. It's always, I got to be honest. Like even some of the patriots that patriot people that like I view as half decent in like certain areas of government, right? You get emails from them sometimes, and it's like I don't know. It just sort of feels like they're just trying to sell you
yeah.
on sort of things. Like,
Well,
hey, I did this in Congress today, and I'm like, great, okay. Like, why?
awesome.
Okay, awesome, yeah, great. Doesn't really
Well,
seem to go anywhere though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the
Well,
same thing. Like with all that money, with all the money spending, the trillions and trillions of dollars. It's again that thing of like if the stimulus relief was really meant for us Americans, that amount of money could have been given to people individually, and it would
yeah.
have been far, far more than just $2,000 or whatever
Yeah.
it was that they
Yeah.
gave.
If the
So
government really felt that strongly that this thing was that deadly and that keeping people at home was really the way to fix the problem, then maybe that stimulus check that was released over a year ago now, maybe it would have been geared more towards helping people stay home and things of that
mm,
nature instead of what did we get, 1,200? What have people gotten overall from this? And don't get me wrong, I don't need it and I don't care. I've
yeah,
been doing great. Give it to somebody else. There's other people that need it, not me. I'm fine.
yeah,
But the reality is those other people that need it, they got peanuts.
Yeah.
For me, it was great. Whatever. Nice. Thanks for the bonus, I guess. I'm alive. Great. But there are other people that really need that, and they gave them nothing. And now they're telling them that they need to take this shot, or they're bad people, and it's weird and it's insane.
But and like the first thing I had said too, it's like if you've already had the disease, then supposedly you have the immunity, you have the antibodies, you should be fine. So why would you even like take the yeah, exactly. So it just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and if you're vaccinated, you shouldn't need to worry about anybody else, because you have the protection that you need, right?
Yeah.
So
Your
you
immune
don't need to
system
worry.
is supposed to be prepared to
Yeah,
battle this thing.
you've got it. You've got this tackled now. It's just so aggravating, because I haven't asked anybody for anything in the last year and whatever. Yet I've been getting told, just wear the mask, just take the shot, just download the app, just, you know, and and
Yeah.
then I'm called selfish. And I'm like,
Right.
how am I selfish? I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. How am I the selfish one?
Yeah.
You know, I've asked politely to be left the freak alone. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have told people to do something in the last year and some. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've told people to mind their own damn business. Mind your damn business. And to quote Hank Williams, if you mind your own business, you'll be busy all the time.
Like that.
It's a fact, Jack. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there right now. There's white pills. There's pills everywhere. There's white pills for you over here. There's black pills for you over there. There's red pills for you here. There's not as many
Blue
blue pills,
pills.
but you can find those lying around, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there's something
Yeah. The
for
black
everybody.
pills are sometimes tough to not swallow
They're good.
myself. You know.
They're good,
They're,
man.
they're
They're good.
they can be
They're
tasty.
good.
Yeah.
They take you
They're
for a
sugar
nice
coated.
ride. Yeah,
Sugar
they take you
coated,
for a
man.
nice ride. They got to be sugar coated because they're not good for you.
Yeah. They rot you inside out, but man, they taste good on the way in.
Exactly. For sure. Well,
Yeah.
I think that puts us at about our hour. So yeah, good chat.
Great chat, man. Yeah.
Stay positive. When you take the black pills, you can get through them, and that's how it works in real life too. So stay up. And we will chat again in a week. Everybody, like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at the numeral 2JSATNIGHT, 2J's at night. And I don't know. I might go to the racetrack next week. We're gonna put a maybe on next week, because I might go to the track. I haven't been to the track yet. Next week will be like third weekend, so
Nice.
I think I might hit that up. We'll see. We'll see what
Hopefully
the
you'll
weather
have good
forecast is
weather.
looking like. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
otherwise,
do you
we'll be
guys?
here.
Is it real far away? How far is that one?
No, it's I don't know, maybe
Zip on over.
10 to 15 miles for me, if that, and it's all backcountry
Nice.
roads. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's literally a 10-15 minute drive, and I'm there. If I was sitting outside tonight, which I almost was, it's warm enough that I could do it. I just didn't have the time to set everything up tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was sitting outside, I might be able to hear them tonight, because it's so nice out and so calm and everything. I can often hear the track on my patio. So yeah, when I hear it calling me, sometimes I got to answer. I do enjoy sucking down some alcohol fumes at the old racetrack.
Right on.
You can. I'm a redneck. What do you want? Man, good times. But
Yeah, I love the racetrack for sure.
yeah.
Well,
So I'll keep
yeah,
you posted, and we'll keep everybody posted on the social media.
Okay.
And until then, I love you. Take care. Everybody else, peace out.
Love you too, Jeremy. Talk to you later.